In a previous video of mine regarding the dialogues between artists and venues, when a venue asks an artist, "How many tables do you have to put them on stage?" When they ask, meaning, "How many customers can you bring when you get on stage here?" I said they shouldn't get angry when they ask that because I think artists are absolutely responsible for their own marketing strategy, their own branding strategy, and I stand by those words. But that doesn't mean venues are completely right to say this and can throw all the burden, the entire marketing burden, the whole responsibility of filling a venue with customers onto the artist. This time, we're going to flip the coin and touch upon what kind of responsibilities venues actually have. Now, let's go back to that question venues often ask artists. How many tables do you have? Yes, as I said, for an artist to have marketing power, it's certainly necessary for them to create their own demand, to do ongoing work for this, and to think about their branding. But the "how many tables do you have" question that the venue owner or venue operator asks the artist actually means this: I have no idea, no strategy, no marketing power, no vision to attract customers to this venue. You come and fill this venue, and I'll make money by selling food and drinks through you. If a venue is renting out its walls and tables, we can't actually call that venue a culture and arts venue. We can't call that venue owner a culture and arts operator or a music operator either. Maybe we can just call them a real estate agent renting out their empty space. The artist can't be the only person or even the primary person responsible for attracting customers to a venue. In other words, the venue operator cannot and should not expect everything from the artist. Actually, the artist puts their own content on stage, while the venue builds, or should build, the ecosystem where that content will be presented. If you're a business that places 100% of the task and responsibility of filling the hall on the artist, you're not actually running a business, you're living off the artist's back. So, what's the right way to do this? The truth is, just as the artist needs to be a personal brand, this venue also needs to have a brand identity. A business model should be established based on genres, such as my venue is a jazz house, my venue is the temple of rock music, my venue is the center of ethnic techno, where the atmosphere is also compatible with that genre. And when you define this identity and fill it with the right curation, you actually create a bond of trust with your audience, just like the artist creates with their own audience. So when your audience comes to that venue, they feel a sense of trust regarding the quality and type of music they'll hear. Customers and audiences don't go to the world's best music venues just for the lineup. In other words, they don't just check to see which artist is performing before going. When I go to this venue, I know I'll hear great music in this or that genre, and I might even discover something new. That's why they go. So the venue's primary responsibility is to build the right audience and consistently draw them in. If you do this, the customers who come for that style of music will also discover the talented independent musicians you showcase. So this is actually a fulfilling and win-win outcome for you, the venue owner, the venue itself, the artist, and the audience. But if you change your tune every night, featuring completely different artists and relying only on the crowd they bring, you won't have a loyal audience. You'll just have random passersby, and that benefits neither you nor the artists. And there's another question regarding the numbers. How many tables do you have? Besides that question, there's also how many followers do you have? Unfortunately, we've often seen and still see very talented artists who can't get into venues or have their shows canceled because their follower count is low. We've reached a point in the music industry where who performs on stage is decided by social media algorithms, not the venue's identity, the artist's quality, or the director's vision. So the same algorithms that are already the artist's enemy in the digital world are now confronting them on the live music stage as well. And despite having a great voice, performance, and songs, an artist not being allowed on stage just because of their follower count is fundamentally undermining the music industry and its growth, And unfortunately, we've been dealing with this for years. Well, those old enough will remember. Just like in the rest of the world, in Turkey during the 90s and early 2000s, certain venues with proper curation and brand identity, and there are still some today, though they're in the minority, would showcase artists aligned with their strategy. And those artists were discovered there, not on social media, building successful careers through word of mouth. Nowadays, we've reached a point where social media numbers also dictate live music venues. And unfortunately, those numbers, including those on digital platforms, are often inflated through fraudulent means. As this continues, we're unfortunately moving further away from new talent and musical diversity. So I'm asking venue owners now, are you really just going to exploit pre-existing audiences? Or can you create those magical settings yourself where a vision is set, new talents are found, and artists who've given their lives to music with top tier skills can be discovered? If you only put people on stage who already have a huge following, then where's your management, your entrepreneurship, your vision, or your strategy? Tying any business model solely to the traffic others bring in already carries the risk of you going under very quickly. You have to create your own traffic with your own perspective and your own style, both for yourselves and for the health and sustainability of the music ecosystem. My fellow artists, I'm telling you again, you must work on your own marketing strategy. This will strengthen your position, but stay away from venues that treat you like a real estate agent, just giving you an empty space and putting 100% of the burden of filling it on you. Even if you have the power to fill it, stay away. If you've built a brand identity, this won't align with your brand or your professional stance anyway. And besides, you can't grow your art in a place that sees you purely as a tool to fill tables. And venue owners, please take off your real estate agent apron and put on your culture manager jacket. Have a music policy. Have a stance that's uniquely yours. Let everyone who comes there feel that the place has a soul the moment they walk in. Once you create and project that soul, the artist on stage, and you'll naturally attract artists who fit that soul, will truly shine and build that vital connection with the audience. Unless you share responsibility this way, the independent scene won't grow, the industry won't develop, diversity won't be nurtured, and your venues won't become brands. In short, the music industry can certainly be a business. Of course, it's natural for stakeholders other than artists to put business first. But in any case, cultural management is a matter of vision. It's more than just an ordinary business. In a world where artists think like entrepreneurs to brand and grow themselves, and venue owners act as true cultural managers with proper curation, everyone wins. Otherwise, artists can't focus on their art because they're constantly trying to fill venues and they burn out. The venue owner, meanwhile, looks at empty tables and constantly blames the artist. When we break this cycle and everyone takes responsibility with proper management, musical diversity will thrive. The public will gain an audience, and a sustainable industry will benefit both artists and owners.